I was born into what many people would proudly call a proper Nigerian Christian home. Not a perfect one, but one grounded in prayer, discipline, and faith. The kind of home where you woke up to the smell of fresh pap and akara on Saturday mornings, and the sound of my mother humming worship songs while sweeping the sitting room. My father wasn't the loud type, but when he spoke, even if it was just 2 sentences, you felt it. My siblings, though, were different. 2 older sisters and 1 older brother, all determined to train me into becoming a responsible man. But when you're the last born, trust me, it doesn't feel like training. It feels like everyone is your parent. Joseph, wash the plates. Joseph, don't go out. Joseph, come back here. Joseph, don't talk to that boy. Joseph, read your book. Every day came with a new instruction. And the more they talked, the more something inside me started to rebel. Something started whispering, when will I get to make my own choices? When will I get to see the world for myself? That whisper grew louder with each passing year. By the time I turned 18, I had made up my mind, I wanted freedom. Not the type they pretended to give me, real freedom. So when it was time to apply for university, I didn't choose the federal school close to home like everyone expected. No. I picked a state university 9 hours away. A place where none of my siblings could just show up and start giving orders. When my siblings heard the news, they all tried to lecture me again. My brother said, that place you want to go, it's rough. Be careful. One of my sisters said, I don't like that environment. Why not stay closer to home? But I wasn't having it. I didn't want safe. I wanted free. Looking back now, I should have listened. Anyway, I got admitted, packed my bags, hugged my mom tightly, and jumped into the bus with a heart full of excitement. The moment that bus pulled out of our street, I leaned my head on the window and smiled like someone who had just won a lottery. Finally, I whispered to myself, I'm out. When I arrived at school, everything felt alive. Students everywhere. Guys forming big boy. Girls with confidence walking like the world was theirs. Shouts, laughter, music, bikes zooming past. It was chaotic, but in a beautiful way. I loved it. Within days, I made friends, not the book-smart, calm ones, but the loud, adventurous, let's go out tonight, type. The kind of friends my parents warned me about. But at that moment, that warning sounded like an exaggerated superstition. These guys introduced me to things I had only heard about but never seen. Night parties. Hostel gist. Cliques. People with connections. People others feared. It felt exciting, like a world I wasn't ever supposed to see. Slowly, I stopped praying as often. I stopped calling home. I stopped remembering the values I grew up with. In my head, I was finally living. But freedom without direction is just a fancy word for danger. The first sign that I had entered the wrong circle came one night when we were sitting outside the hostel, laughing. A group of guys walked past, quiet, serious, moving with purpose. People around suddenly went silent. My friend whispered, those ones. Don't cross their path, cultist. I swallowed hard. But instead of distancing myself, curiosity pulled me closer. Weeks later, little by little, I was already doing favors for people I shouldn't be talking to. Running errands, passing messages, mixing with people my spirit warned me about. But I ignored every warning. You see, the thing about darkness is that it never grabs you immediately. It creeps in, one step at a time, until you're too deep to run. It wasn't long before one of the seniors started sending me anyhow. Go and buy food. Don't ask questions. Bring your phone. And if I delayed? Punishment. I was starved twice, not because I did something terrible, but because I asked a question I wasn't supposed to ask. I remember sitting on my hostel bed one night, stomach empty, head aching, wondering how I went from a peaceful Christian home to this life of fear and confusion. But the worst was still coming. I don't know who I offended or what rumor was spread, but suddenly, I started hearing things. Guy, them talk say some boys they find you. Oh. Joseph, be careful. Your name don't enter their list. Don't walk alone at night. My hands would shake whenever I heard footsteps behind me. I barely slept. Every knock on my door felt like the last one I would hear. And then it happened. A close effort. Yen of mine almost like a brother got caught up in something connected to them. Something he didn't deserve. Something he wasn't even responsible for. And one night, they killed him. I remember the scream that tore through the hostel. I remember running out and seeing the chaos. I remember seeing guys crying, girls panicking, everyone whispering his name in disbelief. I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't breathe. It felt like the world around me suddenly froze. The reality hit me like a blow. I could have been the one. Maybe I was supposed to be the one. That was the day the excitement of freedom finally died in my heart. I didn't wait for things to get better. I didn't wait to understand the full story. I packed my bags the next morning, shaking, terrified, and emotionally broken. When I entered the bus heading back home, for the first time in a long time, I prayed. Not the casual prayer. The kind you pray when you know God just saved your life. The journey back felt longer than 9 hours. Every mile felt like a layer of foolishness peeling off me. By the time we pulled into my street, I was already crying. Not just because I was alive, but because I realized how much I had run from the only people who truly loved me. When my mother opened the door and saw me, her eyes widened. Joseph, what happened? I broke down. For the first time, I realized. Family wasn't my cage. Family was my shield. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever felt lost or are struggling, please know you're not alone, and reaching out to family, friends, or a professional can make all the difference. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.